Hello everybody, this is Hocus and welcome back to another episode in the Minecraft single player survival series. This is episode 42 and if you're with me for the last one, then you will know immediately what that incessant clicking behind me means. That's right, we are filtering items through our storage system, which is now hooked up to the oak farm here, so I thought I'd give that a run to retrieve those memories from last episode so that you guys know exactly where we're at. We also did a little bit of work on the hive, which now looks amazing. May I just add, looks very good, and I'm very pleased with what we did get done in that last episode. So I've got some plans for today. We will go over those in just a second, but before that, we have got to go down to our new Haste 2 mine for some guessing games and maybe a little bit of blowy action. And by that I mean explosions and nothing else. Blowy action? If I ever refer to the use of TNT that way again, please remind me to delete my channel, and it will be taken care of swiftly. Nothing more said about that though. That should be where we leave that one for sure. So we are now down in the new Haste 2 mine. I've been working here off camera. Don't think I mentioned it, but this has spanned a couple of episodes now. Just been coming down here every now and again and digging out a lot of area, looking for resources. And you guys might be wondering what those resources are. Well, in here is all the good stuff. And we're skipping over mostly everything because the reason why I'm here is for this stuff. Now, redstone is something that I use quite often. I use it quite often, and it does expire very quickly. We use it and it disappears for obvious reasons. So what I want to do right now is to mine all of this up, every single redstone ore that we've mined from this Haste 2 mine. But before we do that, I want you guys to make a guess on the number of redstone dust that we're going to get from this. So take a few seconds, take it all in, make your guess, and we're going to get to mining. Oh wow, that is crazy. So we had so much redstone that I managed to fill our inventory once, and there's still a bunch remaining. So what I'm going to do is I am going to get it into block form, and then I'll do the calculations on screen, and we can see if anybody was right. Okay then guys, the grand reveal, and remember, no cheating. You should have already left your comment. You should already have made your mind up. I'd be very surprised if anyone got this. It's a pretty ludicrous number. So in total, not including the redstone dust I already had in here, this is not included, we have got 2,784 redstone dust. So this should last us a while. We've also got a few extra stacks here, which is awesome. We've got a bunch of coal hanging around as well. And I'm kind of thinking, I don't know what to do because I had a couple of ideas. The first one was to explode all of the coal. The second one was to just put a bunch of TNT down here and see what happens. I've always wanted to do that in a haste mine. So let's go and see what we can do. Gather up some TNT, see how much we can get together, and then I'll make my decision. Four stacks of TNT now surround us in the Haste 2 mine. And kind of the idea behind this is to see whether or not doing this is worthwhile because it might uncover some hidden resource that we haven't yet accessed. But it's also going to be a bunch of fun. So I thought safety-wise, we better switch into a chest plate. We don't have blast protection, but that's okay. I'm sure we'll be fine. Yeah, I'm confident. I really am not, but I have to pretend to be, right? I have to pretend to be confident, and that's how you truly gain confidence in a situation like this. I've also bought the shield so that we can kind of deflect some of the blast. And I've configured the TNT in a way that I'm trying not to destroy any of this stuff here. It could happen, but I'm hoping it won't. So here we go, I guess. Let's light the first one up and make a break for it. I'm going to try and stay as close as possible to what it is. Oh, wow. Here we go. Okay, that was pretty cool. Now, I guess all that's to do is to kind of scour through the demolition zone and see if anything was uncovered. It doesn't look like it so far, does it? But I'll take a quick run through. We'll see what we can see, and hopefully this was worth doing. Because if not, I probably won't bother doing it again. Oh, wow, look at all these mobs spawning. Holy moly. Hey, villager. Oh, I definitely wouldn't recommend this, guys. I definitely would not recommend it. All it does is make life super difficult because I've got all these mobs chasing me now. And I couldn't find a lot of resource at all. The only two things I've been able to grab, really, are 6 diamond ore, which I guess isn't too bad. I don't really need diamonds, though. And there's also 6 redstone ore, which is the stuff that I'm down here for, realistically. But like I say, I think I'm just going to get out of here. This is too much for me to handle at the moment. It's actually kind of difficult down here at the moment with all these mobs lurking. So now that we have can you stop, please? Please stop making noise. Now that we've got that out of the way, we've had our little bit of fun for the episode, let's get down to doing some work. And the work for today is going to be a little bit grindy, because what we need to do is reconfigure this storage system here at the gold farm. Problem I'm facing with it is that we've got one spiral that converts all of the items. It takes them around the spiral and they go over these filters. But what I want to have is 4 separate storage systems on this farm, so that each side of the farm has its own filtering system, its own storage system, and it will just reduce the amount of stress on the system overall, because at the moment there's far too many items going through. It takes ages for them to be filtered, so I just want to speed up the process by having 3 separate areas. So what we're going to have is probably something like this, but on all 4 sides. So it's going to require quite a bit of work and quite a bit of reconfiguration, but I think it will be definitely worth it in the end. Okay, so the item destruction system at the end of the spiral is gone. We are making way for our first branch here of the filtering system. So if you couldn't quite comprehend what I was saying, instead of having this spiral in the middle, we're going to have just 4 straight lines of hoppers that lead out from each side. So items from this side of the farm will land right here, right there on that side of the farm, so on and so forth. So what we want to do is actually branch out a few blocks. So let's begin with like 5 hoppers maybe. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you might be wondering why we're placing glass. That is because I need to line these up correctly. So we'll place another block here. They all need to be facing in this direction, essentially. So let's do that, and we can go a couple more here. So this is how everything's going to begin, like so. All right, so here is our first module. And I was considering not sticking to the shulker loaders just because they take up a lot of room. But then I realized that having a simple and quick way to move items out of the nether into the overworld is actually pretty convenient. So we're going to have a shulker loader for each item on each side. So that's going to be a total of 12 shulker loaders, I think. So 3 on each side. 3 times 4 is 12. So we're going to have to build 12 of these guys, which could be a little bit of a pain in the butt. Anyway, that is okay. So I think what I'm going to do is leave a 3 wide gap between each of these modules. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. And then the next one is going to be right here where that block is. But pretty much all I've got now ahead of me is a bunch of building, because this, like I say, is a little bit of a grindy task. But I really do want to get it done, because what this is going to allow us to do as well is AFK properly here. Because without this system, using the initial storage system, it was just too slow to AFK here. But with this new system, we should be good to just stand up in the farm, let it tick over. We'll be gaining gold. We'll be gaining flesh. We'll be gaining gold nuggets. It's going to be amazing. So let's get this done, and then we can rest easy. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is one side of the farm totally complete. So we got 3 of the shulker loaders. We've got a bunch of bulk storage for any items that cannot be put into a shulker box immediately. And all in all, I'm not too upset. I thought this was going to take a lot longer than it did. I'm kind of getting into the flow now of building, which means I don't need to keep checking back. I kind of know offhand exactly how to build all of these configurations. So that speeds up the process slightly. And I'm also figuring out quick ways to make sure that I'm not looping back around too often, because sometimes what I'll do is I'll place a block, I'll break a block, I'll fall down, then I'll have to fly back up. But I'm trying to be cautious and conscious of not doing that too often, because it does waste time. So little things to think about whilst I'm working here, but it is going quite well so far. So Like I say, we need to get one of these in on each side now. So I'm thinking that we should probably just go ahead and tear out this guy so that we can get to work on this side and just keep moving around the ring. 3/4 of the way there. Take a deep breath. Whew. Okay, we're good. So the reason why I brought you guys back in here pretty much was just to give my voice some action because, you know, I've been working tirelessly getting this done. And when you don't commentate for a while, I don't know. For me personally, I'm just going to try and keep in the flow of things. I'll put it this way, right? So since I finished that first module, I've done my laundry. So it goes into the washer for 35 minutes roughly. Then it goes into the dryer for 45 minutes. Then I got to bring it back upstairs, hang it up and all that good stuff. So it is taking time, and I've managed to do all of that in between building these 3 modules here. We've got one more to go. I'm going to be glad to get it out of the way. I'm not going to lie. This is kind of grindy work. And something else that I stupidly did, I was, you know, flailing the axe around carelessly, and I accidentally knocked out our pillar that leads up to the gold farm there. So we're going to have to repair that at some point. I've got the scaffolding, but this is nowhere near enough to get us back up there. So I don't know where the rest of it went, if I actually need to go and load it in. I guess we can go test that. Is it going to... Loud noises. I don't know, maybe the rest of it did fall and I just haven't found it yet. I guess it could be in the hoppers here. But either way, let's get back to work. We're done. We're done. We are finally done. Whew. Another deep breath. I think this is definitely going to be worth it though. This is definitely going to be worth it. Like I say, this should allow us to AFK properly. It makes the item sorting so much quicker. What are you staring at? Bye-bye. And it looks a lot cooler, right? We've got so much more going on here now. We are going to have to reconfigure the shape of this platform and figure out a different design because at the moment we can't really reach these outer shulker loaders, so that's a bit of a problem. But nonetheless, if you guys weren't here for the initial building of these shulker loaders or don't understand still how this works, so what we've got going on here is a comparator system. It's comparing the strength of this redstone block signal to the contents of the shulker box, which will sit in this area here. And as soon as they match up, i.e. as soon as the shulker box is entirely full, it will match the signal of the redstone block here, and that will cause the piston to fire, and it will push the full shulker box down into the barrel here, and then we can transport those away. So that's kind of how this little system works. It works based on the comparison of redstone signals, which is pretty neat. It's quite compact also, and I cannot remember exactly who made this design, but I made some slight changes to it at the time involving the target blocks just to make it a little bit smaller than it already was. So the next step now is to begin creating our filters. So we're going to need a filter for each item 4 times over, and I've already got some of the filter items in here somewhere. Where are they? Okay, here. So we need 16 of each item to be named filter. So to do that, we're going to need to grab ourselves some of this stuff, and we're going to create a little anvil to work with. So let's do something like this. And we can use this guy to get down to naming. All right then, so next up, I just want to label each of the shulker loaders. So I don't know if you remember, but I had these markers on each of the shulker loaders that we had before just to indicate what they are containing. So we're going to do that on each of these guys as well. And I'm figuring that what we can do for the time being is just create like a temporary walkway that stems out here so that we can reach this final one. Because if we don't do that, we won't be able to get to it. So this guy is going to contain rotten flesh. And I think we'll just line this up maybe with that block so that we can make it all the way out here. And this guy is going to contain gold ingots. So we'll pop those in. And this one is already marked. So that one has the nuggets. Now, let's think about distribution of shulker boxes. We've got 7 for each item. I'm thinking what we do is bump that up to 8 and put 2 shulker boxes in each for the time being. So let's grab a couple of these guys, grab a couple of these guys. And then my rotten flesh shulker boxes are actually over at the village because I've been using the rotten flesh to trade with the clerics. So we'll have to go grab that at some point. These are gold ingots, so they can go in here. And then what you can do is hit the manual restart button here, and that will dispense the shulker. And then these guys are gold nuggets, so they will go in there. We can hit the manual restart button. That will dispense that. And then obviously once I get round to grabbing those rotten flesh boxes, we'll bring those over too. But for now, let's just get these shulker loaders labeled up. Everything should be adequately labeled. Yep, I can just about show you that using the Optifine zoom in. You know what? Actually, a quick tangent. I know I've been on a few of those today talking about laundry and whatnot, but a quick tangent is Optifine. I always forget to install it, but it's so great, isn't it? It's so great. It allows you to zoom in, zoom, zoom, zoom. It's so cool. And you can also add any shaders that you want to add. I just need to remember to stay on top of that because it really is cool. Anyway, back to what we were doing. So until we create an automatic smelting system for the swords, we do need to get rid of them somehow. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to come out a good distance so that I don't burn anything by mistake. So let's actually go out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to go out 9 blocks. And it's just going to be more hoppers because we want to take items in this direction. And then once we make it out here, we are going to want to create a small glass platform so that we can create a system to automatically dispose of items. And atop that little glass platform, you'll create a mechanism that looks like this. Now, I think you guys have probably seen this a million times also, but I do like to try and explain everything that I build. So any items that go in here will transmit a signal to this comparator, which is reading the inventory of the dispenser, or the dropper in this case. And that will send a signal into the repeater, which extends the strength of the signal into the block, which forces this piston to push the observer here forward. And if observers ever face each other like this, you know, right next to each other, how should I, here, I'm just going to pump items in so you can see what happens. Okay, so when it gets pushed forward and they are directly facing each other right next to each other, it will continually emit a signal over and over again, and that causes the dropper to fire. So what we need to do now is make sure that the items that are coming out of the dropper will be destroyed. So we can do that by creating a little glass enclosure here. And inside of that glass enclosure, we'll have a little bit of lava. Cover that over so we don't burn ourselves. And then, like I say, anything that goes in here is going to be disposed of. So that pretty much means that anything that doesn't get filtered by our system here, i.e. swords, potentially some chicken, if those little chicken rider guys come through, they'll just be disposed of, and we won't have to deal with those items clogging up the system. So again, I'm going to need to do this 3 more times on each of the sections here. 1, 2, 3. You can just about see the glass. And 4. We're done with the disposal systems. So all that's left between us and using this system is probably getting our shulker boxes back in here. So I'm going to go grab those in a second. And we should probably do something about this. The motherload of rotten flesh. I need to get some clerics over here so that I can just trade it all away, because that is probably the best thing to do with it. It's such a useless item. But yeah, let's get those shulker boxes back over. I'm also going to make sure that each of these systems has at least 2 shulker boxes. So that means crafting 1 more of each type. So 1 more for gold nuggets, 1 more for gold ingots, and also 1 more for rotten flesh. And I'm going to get all of those in the system. Okay, that just about does it. So everything over here now is in full working order. Each of these systems has 2 shulker boxes minimum. Wow, they all have 2 shulker boxes each at the moment, but I will add more over time once we go back and raid the end a few more times to get some more of those shulker boxes. But for now, this will do the trick. There's one more thing I want to add, just kind of like an aesthetic type addition, and that is to have a redstone lamp at the back of each of the filters, so that when items are passing through, we can visually see it. So this will flash when items are passing through, as it will get a signal from this guy here. I believe that's the case. Anyway, we can test that, I suppose, together real quick, just to make sure that is the way it works. So we'll grab some rotten flesh since we have a bunch of that. I've been putting it through the system, got rid of those chests there. So there's a bunch in there already. So let's give this a little test run. And, you know, we might not see this all the time because most of the time we are going to be up there in the ring. But I feel like this will be a cool addition either way. So we'll do that. And the carpet on top ensures that nothing will spawn up there. So if we just pop these guys in here, should just turn the light on when something is going through. So if we, here, where are they? We cut it off, it'll go off again. And let's see if we can kind of like make it flash a little bit. Let's distribute them maybe a little bit sporadically like this, and see if that makes it flash at all. No, I think it might still be too quick for it to flash, but either way, we're getting that visual indication that there is something going through the filter. I'm going to add one of these to each of the filters here, and then we are going to go up and do a little bit of AFKing at the farm just to give it one final test run before we end today's episode. There should be a few items still trickling down. We might see some lights turn on every now and again. Or is that the end? That could be the end of items, but the good thing is, right, there are no items sitting here on top of the hoppers. So that means they're getting filtered quickly enough to keep up with the farm itself. Exactly what I wanted. That wasn't the case before. Oh, there's a couple. Let's see the light turn on here at the end. There it goes. Nice. It flickered on and off. But like I was saying, it keeps up, which is so much better. So much better. So we can sit up there and not have to worry about items building up and causing lag down below. But I think, guys, that will do it for today's episode. So give me just a moment and we will wrap things up. Alright then, guys, welcome back to this episode of the survival single player series. For the last time, for today, this has been episode 42, if I remember rightly. I believe so, yep. Sounds about right. Anyway, we're somewhere in the 40s. I hope you had fun with this one. It was a grindy episode for me, but I did have a lot of fun. I just listened to some music, got the work done, did my laundry, all that good stuff. So all in all, it has been a productive day. If you guys did enjoy this video, please be sure to drop a like down below. That would be much appreciated. Any questions, suggestions, comments, or feedback, you can leave those down in the comment section below. I'll be sure to read every single one and respond to those that require a response. And finally, if you are new around here, then first of all, hello, welcome. My name is Hocus. I hope you enjoyed your stay on the channel today. If you did, please consider hitting that red subscribe button to stay tuned to this series. I'm also taking part in an SMP series at the moment, Ramblecraft. That's a bunch of fun, so make sure to go check that out if you haven't yet done so. And that just about sums things up. So take care, guys. Have a great weekend, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.